Welcome back to Tales from the Soundcheck podcast. In this episode, we chat with the artists about their music and their bands and much more. This week, we have Jacob from the band Sober Bill.
Dude, it's really awesome to talk to you. It's been a while.
Oh, you too, bro. It's been since I moved back from California like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So good stuff. Last day I was out in San Diego with you, so it's cool to catch up. We haven't talked in a while.
Might have even been longer than that.
Dan, you too. It's been like, I don't know, 10 years?
It's been a long time. It was since Connecticut, and I haven't lived there in years, and I know you haven't either.
Yeah. I was in California for a minute, and then I came back out to Connecticut like just under 2 years ago.
Okay.
So, been out here for a little while, but I'm it's cool, back to where I was.
It's good stuff. Promotion for the new job, and
yeah, dude, everything's working out good because I'm trying to move out from where I am now in 4 months. So the raise is fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
That's what's up. They just raised my rent in my apartment, so I'm kind of on the fence. Yeah, I'm on the fence right now of being like, do I stay? Do I move? I'm on month to month, and the month to month shit, it's a lot more than what I'm paying now.
Yeah, that's what's rough, dude, because they could just raise it every month if they wanted to. I had that same problem when I was in LA.
That was happening when I lived in Nashville last. It was like we moved, like, because a lot of people were moving down there at the time, and we had to move like about 25, almost 30 minutes outside of Nashville, and we were still paying like $1,000 or $1,100 a month for a studio.
Yeah, dude, it's
and that was
wild.
in like 2016.
Yeah, God, I wish I could get $1,100 studio.
Oh, dude, like for real. No, but the thing that's fucked up is the first time I lived out there, because I did 2 stints out there. The first time we lived in what was it, Madison. And over there, it was dirt cheap. We had a bigger apartment. Granted, it was on the 3rd floor, so that was a pain in the ass to move in and out. But either way, it was only like $650.
Oh, wow. Dude, that's like unheard of now.
That's what I mean. That was in like 2014. That was a while ago. I was just like, God damn, dude. Rent used to be so cheap down here.
It used to be so cheap everywhere, dude. My first apartment, one of my first apartments that I had after I moved out of my parents' house in Bristol was $600, and it was a 2-bedroom.
God damn.
Yeah, and even when I first moved to California 10 years ago, I was living maybe a half a mile from the beach, and my apartment was $1,000 split with my ex-girlfriend. So like, and that same apartment now is like $2,900, $3,200, something like that.
Dude, it's like unjustifiable. I don't even understand. It's like, there's I don't see like a method behind the reasoning aside from inflation's going up, so we're gonna make everything else expensive now too. They just raised mine the same day that you texted me that they were raising yours. I came home and I got a letter that they're raising mine, so it just kind of solidified that I need to be out by the time my lease is up.
Like, why the fuck even rent anymore? Just get a fucking home loan and get a mortgage.
Literally. And then it's like you can't pay for it because rent is expensive. So how can you even save for a down payment at that point,
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
We can get on a elder millennial rant about how we can't fucking own homes, but
I go for days.
Boomers.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, we got this thing that we do in the beginning of shows, no matter what, if it's just Dan and I. This episode, I'm going to give you a shotgun question.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah. What's a band that you haven't seen and wish you could have seen? They might not be a band now. They might still be a band.
Cattle Decapitation.
Yeah.
All day.
Yep.
They're like my all-time favorite death metal band. And I think they came around like the end of last year, and I wasn't able to see them, and I got super into them in the last like 3 or 4 years. And I just I haven't seen them because they haven't really came around. They still don't have any tour dates out this way yet. But I like need to see them ASAP. I turned 30 in December, so my goal is to see them before I turn 30.
Solid goal.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like they just had a record out May 12th.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Yeah, so I listened to 2 of the songs so far. Fucking fire. It's like it's crazy how they can make this like apocalyptic sound that no other death metal band can do. It's like they're heavy and death metal is death metal, but there's something about their music where there's this certain ambience that they captivate, and I have yet to find any other band that's in their genre that does that.
It looks like they're going to be in your area May 24th.
Oh damn, dude! How'd you see that before me?
New York City.
We're on top of that shit always.
Yeah.
Hey Dan, they're gonna be in Baltimore, Maryland, kind of in your area the day before. So
yeah.
I may have to buy tickets for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully, I can get the time off from work.
I just checked out their website real quick. That's all I did.
Nice. Well, I missed that one, but good looks.
That's a good it's a good band to see. There's a brewery out here actually that I really like. That I think one of the guys works there, or is one of the owners or something.
I think they're from San Diego, actually.
I think they are.
Or Orange County, something like that.
I think it's San Diego, North County, San Diego,
cool.
Something like that. Yeah, because there are some of those guys around at that brewery that I've seen. I pretty cool, and there's lots of bands in the area. You know, there's surprisingly, you know, there's bands from our neck of the woods that actually live out here that you wouldn't think, but it's fun. It's a great place to live. It's just if you can't afford it, you're fucked.
Dude, I loved it when I was out in LA. Whenever I would come down to San Diego, I was like, fuck, why didn't I like just move an hour and a half south? It's so much better down there.
Trying to get my brother to do that. He lives up in the Joshua Tree area, and it's a little out there. And
cool.
That's a beautiful area, though.
Yeah,
it is. It really is. It's very serene.
Right.
There's this place in the area called Pioneer Town,
okay,
and it's like an old like Western town. With like a saloon and everything. It's kind of like a
kind of like a tourist or something like that.
Yeah, but smaller.
Yeah,
small,
for sure.
But it's kind of a touristy trap.
Yeah.
But there's this place, shout out. There's this place called Pappy and Harriet's. If you're ever in Pioneer Town, go to this place. This place rocks.
What is it, like a food spot?
Yeah, they must do live music on weekends or at night because there's a stage in there. It was like a full setup, like kind of Webster Underground size, but a lower platform.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then they have a whole bar, a whole restaurant, but all like rustic and old, and it was expensive. That's how I knew it was tourist trap.
Yeah,
but it was a good spot. It was a good spot.
At least it was good. At least you got your money's worth.
Yeah, the food was good. They charged me for barbecue sauce. You guys.
Of course they did, dude. Of course they did.
But still, I'd go back.
Yeah.
The world's just a less generous place with sauce anymore.
Yeah, dude, I know.
All right, man. So when we met, you played bass.
Yep.
I'm sure you still play bass, but you're currently the drummer of a band called Sober Bill.
Yes, sir.
What caused the switch?
So I played drums the longest out of anything. So I've been playing drums for 18 years, maybe 17 going on 18. And drums are like my main instrument, but with all the moving that I've done, before like 2 years ago, I couldn't really have a drum set in any of the areas that I was living. So coming back to Connecticut just kind of made me want to really get back into doing drums. Bass is cool. I haven't like really jammed the bass much in a while. I'll be honest with you. I still have my Schecter Stiletto Elite, that 5-string.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have any other gear to play with it right now, so that's just kind of not a thing at the moment. And my main focus is drums. But with bass, with Forsaken, when I was in that band like 10 years ago, I didn't actually play bass prior. I played guitar. So I kind of knew how to play the bass based on playing guitar. But aside from that, that was really the most that I did with it. And other than that, it's mainly been guitar and drums. So when I came back up to Connecticut, my buddies had like a little online kind of joke pop punk band. I don't even listen to pop punk, so it wasn't really my thing at first. And then they asked me to start playing drums, and I was like, oh shit, this is like actually fun to play.
That's really funny, man, because I have like a similar background. That's awesome.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because my first instrument was drums, and then I started loosely playing guitar, but then I ended up playing bass and arc, even though I was more of a guitar player. But
cool,
I can
man.
hold down a bass enough. That's really funny.
Yeah, it was for me too. It was
really.
I think I mentioned it earlier where I was like, I wanted to be a drummer. Never had a drum set. And then I played guitar and then floated to bass. And what's really funny is that Jake and I have been in the same band, not at the same time.
Not at the same time, no.
And
we were friends after the band too, though, so it made it funny.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Caught a couple of their shows when Jake was in the band. There was one, dude. Do you remember this show, Jake? It was like a mini golf course and a skating rink. It was somewhere in Connecticut.
Mini golf course at a skating
It was all like
rink.
blacklit mini golf in one room, and then you guys played the skate rink.
Oh, was it inside or was it outside?
It was inside.
It was inside.
It was cold too. It was in this winter.
Was that Amity Teen Center?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of with the
it wasn't
arcade
Teen Center. It was Northern Connecticut somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But it was like a roller rink slash weird like 5-hole mini golf course.
I wish I remembered.
Here's the weird thing about Connecticut, like the way you're describing that, and I'm just thinking is like, how is it that Connecticut had like every venue that was in a stage in a Guitar Hero game?
Yeah, literally.
Right?
It sounds like it's out of a movie.
You had places like Bobby Allen's, which are just like coke dens.
Yeah,
and then you have like
the space.
Yeah, the space, which was just like a sub basement room.
It has that pole right in the middle of where the pit is.
You got to play the house kit.
Yeah, it's funny. It's like,
always.
what is a death metal band doing at a golf course? You know?
Yeah, no, it was weird because I remember playing mini golf because I think I had rode up with you guys on that show and just helped you guys move gear and stuff like that. Really, I think I was helping Cameron with his drum kit and just kind of setting all that up.
That's about right.
Fuck, I wish I remembered, man. I don't remember that off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it.
I would.
I'll have to do some research. We'll get to it. We'll find it.
So Jake, I got a question for you. When did it like click for you that you wanted to be a musician?
I think ever since like I don't even know I remember when I was like 8 or 9, right? I went to I saw a video for Slipknot on MTV. It was Left Behind, and I remember walking down when FYE used to be Strawberries. My mom gave me her ID. I remember walking down and I'm like, I'm going to buy this Slipknot album. My mom called the store in advance because it had the parental advisory sticker, so she didn't think that I would be able to get the album. And I remember getting the album and listening to it, and I was like, fuck, like, I don't know how such angry music resonated with me when I was like 8 years old, but I remember listening to it and I was like, fuck, like this, I want to do something like this, you know, when I was younger. And then it kind of, I played metal the majority of my life. I did like a little bit of indie acoustic solo things on the side, and now I'm doing pop punk. But I think at the end of the day, it was just like all of the heavy music that I liked when I was younger to now, just I don't know, kind of made me want to do it, you know.
I feel that. Slipknot, was it the self-titled album from?
I got Iowa first, and then I got, because that was the one that had Left Behind on it.
Yep.
And then I got the self-titled, and then I got the Subliminal Verses, and then I kind of fell off of them after that.
Subliminal Verses slapped though.
Yeah, that was a really awesome record.
Yeah. It was like their last one where I was like, I like every song on this album, you know. And then after that, I kind of started to fall off a little bit.
But seriously, Iowa being the first Slipknot record to get into, you got into them in like the darkest record.
Dude, I know. Yeah.
The self-titled record, I don't know if anybody remembers this. Dan, you might remember this picking it up.
Yep.
But the self-titled record, when it first came out, I don't know when it first actually dropped. Was it 99?
99, July or August.
So I was 6th grade or something like that.
Yep,
6th or 7th. And it had a red jewel case when it originally dropped.
The first pressings did, yeah.
Yeah, and I had one, and when I moved out of my mom's, she had ended up having a tag sale, I guess, and sold that fucking CD, man. No. And then on top of it, sold like all the Pokemon cards and everything that's worth hundreds of dollars right now. So
yeah,
dude, I am thankful. I still know exactly where all my Pokemon cards are because I pretty much collected those from like the beginning of the trading card game to like second gen, kind of third gen, and I stopped from there. I have a giant collection. American cards, German cards, because I lived in Germany for so long. I have a bunch of Japanese ones. Like, it's insane.
Oh, you know what? I gotta ask, Dan. I've never asked this. Did you catch any shows in Germany?
So no, I personally didn't. I was way too young.
Oh yeah, you were.
But like, because when I first moved there, it was in like 90. Yeah, it was in 95. So I was like all of like 6, 7 years old.
A wee Dan.
And by the time I left, I was 12. So yeah, I didn't go to many shows or anything like that. But my dad did play in a cover band that would play at the community club on base in the little town we lived in. There's a base in this little town called Giebelstadt. And yeah, that's the only really music I saw aside from like my brother's friends coming over and jamming at the house and stuff.
It's pretty sweet.
Cool.
But yeah, having 2 older brothers and then all of his older friends, I got exposed to a lot of cool music early on.
Yeah, dude, I'm the oldest, so I'm the one. I had some friends that kind of throwing the stuff in my ear when I was super young. But Slipknot, huge influence for me too.
Oh, dude,
I think
100%.
when I first saw them, I think I was kind of like you. I don't know if it was Joey Jordison that was, you were like, dude, I gotta play drums live.
Mhm.
Like I gotta do this stuff. Or even the other percussionists that are in the band, you know, it was just an extra level to see guys slamming fucking kegs with a baseball bat. And the fact that those guys are still doing that shit in their 50s.
In their 50s, dude. Yeah, I know.
is crazy. Good on them.
Yeah, just think how much their show has evolved over time. Like, if you saw them back in the day compared to now, it's just like, dude, like,
prime.
holy shit.
Well, seeing them during like I think I saw them during Ozfest 2004 in Boston, and they were on the second stage, and it was the Subliminal Verses run, and it was just like another band. It was raw. It was so like 9 dudes on this not really tiny stage, but this stage, and they weren't playing on the main stage or anything like that, right? Like that. But I've never gotten to see them since, which sucks because I'm so close to the proximity of Knotfest, and I've always wanted to go just to see it, because I feel like it's got that weird vibe that Ozfest had, where like you could walk around Ozfest and like kick a guy in the balls with a soccer ball or something like that for $5. And then I feel like Knotfest is the same thing. They'll like dunk you in donkey shit for $25 or something like that.
You know, they have all sorts of crazy shit going on, but that's what made those shows wild and fun. It's like, oh, you want to get a mohawk and piss your parents off? $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that old school feel to it. Dude, my mom used to go to Ozfest when I was like, that was another thing that got me into heavy music, was she used to go to Ozfest, and I remember she would come home, or one year she came home and she had one of the magazines or pamphlets from it, and it was like Mudvayne was in it, Korn was in it, Slipknot, Marilyn Manson. I remember seeing all these artists and I was like, this is fucking sick. And she wanted to take me with her, but you know, I was like 8 years old. But my dad was like, no, you can't go. So I didn't start going until I was like 14 or 15, but just so many things that made me want to, you know, do music.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. But it's kind of the same thing, because I wasn't like generally playing too many shows. I think I might have played 1 or 2 shows in my life during that time of Ozfest. And then it's like, wow, I got it. I got to be on the other side of this barricade. There's no way that I can't in my life not experience both sides to this.
Right.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I was grinding at 14, honestly. Like when I was in high school, I hated school a lot. I didn't find it very challenging. So I would get distracted very easily. But any like extracurricular stuff, like if it was like all 4 years of high school, for instance, I did sound for like every production at the school. That kept me sane.
Right.
Yeah, I have really good memories all 4 years of being in all sorts of bands. The first band I was in, I was playing guitar and singing. It was like this really shitty pop punk band. It was great.
Yeah, man. How about having fun?
I've played in all sorts of bands, but like one of the cool things was like playing the amount of shows I did during high school, because we had a pretty awesome scene in Wallingford, so it was really easy to get on shows. There used to be this little venue in Wallingford, not even a venue, it was a coffee shop called Planet Bean, but every weekend they would have just shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I remember Planet Bean.
And what was wild is when I first started going to shows in Connecticut, it was all industrial. It was wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a
Where
lot
were
of
you before that?
industrial music. Before Connecticut, I lived in like Delaware for a little bit because we were transitioning from moving back to from Germany. So I lived with my grandparents for about 6 months. My
Okay.
folks got work in Connecticut, and then the second half of 7th grade is when I started living up there back in like 2000, 2001, something like that.
Right. Yeah, I never knew anything besides Connecticut shows, so I was used to all the VFWs and just renting out a space for a
Yep.
night, and then a bunch of crazy shit going down.
Remember when you were able to rent VFWs and American Legions?
Yeah, Sons of Italy, Knights of Columbus.
There were a lot of great spots in Wallingford. There was the Hungarian Hall. I went to so many good shows there. There was the Wallingford American Legion. There was the Knights of Columbus. I think there was a Moose Lodge. There was a lot of like random venues around.
Do you guys remember Woodbury Ski Area?
Yep. I remember playing it with you, with Dan. Or did you play too, Dave?
I don't remember. I played there a few times.
Okay.
But it was when I was in APH, so it might have been. It was a little bit earlier. It was like 2006, 2007. But that spiral staircase and then the wood stove in the middle of the pit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The craziest thing. And then they'd have it on. So you got people in a pit with this fucking 1,000 degrees fucking wood stove, hot to the touch. And I'm pretty sure that guy croaked. His name was Rod that owned the place. We used to call it Rod's because I grew up in Woodbury in the same area when I was younger.
Yeah.
And we'd go there for the skate park and skiing. And he burned my mom a bunch of money. So he
lame.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Rod.
Yeah, I remember playing one show there, and it was fucking wild. It was with I was before Forsaken. I was in my band before that, and then I remember Ark of the Covenant played.
That was the one with Cursed by Reason, right?
Yes.
Oh my god, that show was wild. Fucked.
I think they stopped shows after that, right? At that spot.
Did.
Yeah,
you guys were the ones.
So check this out. This is a wild story. So I correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but wasn't it that whoever owned the spot was just not going to give the promoter any of the money from the door?
I think it had some. It's been so long. It had something
it's
to
been
do
a
with that.
long time, but it was something to that effect, and people got pissed and they tore the place the fuck apart.
It sounds like that dude. It's probably him. Or his son or something like that. I think it was a family thing.
You know those wood benches that are on the patio out there?
Yep.
People were fucking launching them off the patio onto the fucking ski slope.
Yeah, dude, it was wild.
Yeah, that was
wild.
That was a fucking fun show.
We played a few shows there. The one that I remember the most, I remember it being super, super cold and snowing actually.
It was the same when we played.
We had to park across the street with the van in that like upper parking lot, like that was like up like a dirt slope, and bring everything across the fucking street into the venue, up the stairs where everybody, even the spectators, were coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe it was with APH, but I remember us playing with like Give Us Wings and Cathexis and
oh wow, okay.
I think it was like Mouth on Tailpipe. There was like other bands like that. So, but it was but I remember it just being bad. We were all so young at the time. It was but they used to put us to play in that like little alcove with just windows. And
yeah, right in front of the windows, right?
Yeah, and oh, what a terrible, terrible room to have shows in.
Yeah, I played there that one time, and I just remember it was rowdy, and then I'm pretty sure that was the last one they had there.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
I remember people jumping off that spiral staircase onto like people.
Holy shit. Connecticut shows used to be wild, man.
Yeah, man. Good
Yeah, they
times.
used to be.
Yeah, I haven't been to I mean, besides like a big show and the ones we played, I haven't been to a show in a while.
Well, because I don't think VFW and American Legions are doing shows that much anymore. It's like
The one in Wallingford just closed again.
no way. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with Point Beach, dude. Point Beach gave up because people were like busting, ceiling tiles out. I think there was like a
That
life
was
ruiner
such
show.
a cool. I loved playing that fucking
Rowdy
place.
shows there. That was
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely, absolutely. Those remind me of like the old Wallingford American Legion shows, like just absolutely just fucking like violent.
And then there was the what was it? I think it was the Newington American Legion across from Newington High School.
Yep.
And 7-Eleven right there.
There's one in Cromwell as well, the Knights of Columbus.
Dude, all those places. They would have at Kensington American Legion with a giant like aircraft carrier gun that's outside.
Yep. So
awesome. Those shows were, it was literally just, I mean, if places are still doing VFW American Legion shows and it's not just like clubs and bars and actual, real
venues.
Like big venues, and cherish that, because that is the coolest experience, to literally have a place where maybe a couple hours before they were playing bingo with geriatric people.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there losing teeth. So,
absolutely. Time of your life.
And kids were crazy at those shows. I remember kids like putting bricks in like books and backpacks and swinging them around in pits and just,
dude, I've seen
fucking
all
people
sorts of crazy stuff. Like I remember going to, it was just like a big fest at the Wallingford Knights of Columbus, and you had people from New Jersey, you had people from Massachusetts, you had people from New York. So it was like
It's a recipe for disaster right there.
This was back in like 2004.
So you had
So
crews.
all the like crews were still very prevalent at the time. So it was just like, oh my God.
I remember one of our buddies almost got jumped by a bunch of people in Rhode Island for wearing a headband upside down or something like that. It was like, that's the way our crew wears it. And it's like, this is so dumb.
Calm down, Rhode Island.
Yeah. Actually, that brings me to another question for you, man. What's the I guess a two-part question. What's the craziest thing you've seen while being on stage or just spectating? And what's the most memorable show that you've ever played?
Okay. I think there's for memorable shows, I think there's probably two. There was one with Sober Bill, and then there was one with Forsaken. The Forsaken one was when we played Warped Tour, because that was, I mean, we played like a lot of local shows, did little tours here and there where there was, sometimes not a lot of people, sometimes maybe like 150 or so. So decent sized shows, but Warped Tour was just like fucking crazy, because that was like the first moment I had where I was like, oh shit, like, maybe this is actually gonna go somewhere,
I was there. I watched you guys play.
Oh yeah, you were there. Yeah. Dude, it was so fucking fun. It was so fun. And there's nothing like, going up on stage at 11:30 in the morning and just people are going fucking wild.
It was a nice stage too. It was a good sized stage.
Yeah. It was cool.
It was so weird because it was so close to the vicinity, like maybe only a couple of years since I had left the band. Yeah. So listening to the same songs that I had helped like write, and then you murdered it. I was just watching you murder. I was like, dude, these guys are fucking so good. I was so happy that the band was doing so well. And then seeing, I was at the Ernie Ball stage or something like that, and something like that. And was it 2012 or 2011?
2000. We broke up in 2013, so I think it was 2012.
Yeah, because I think that was might have been the last Warped Tour I went to, honestly.
Yeah. Or it may have been 2013 actually, because we broke up in October and it was shortly before we did. So I think it was summer of 2013 actually. But yeah, dude, it was so fucking fun. I remember I went up on stage and they were giving out like free Monsters. And I thought that it was the Monster energy drink, and then I opened it up, it's just warm tin water. I was like, oh fuck.
Yep.
Advertising.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, that was in terms of, like an audience and whatnot. It's got to be that show. That was probably the most memorable show in terms of that. And then in terms of with Sober Bill, it was actually, I don't know, maybe the third or fourth show we played. We played at this like shitty dive bar in Torrington. and it's not big at all, right? You could probably fit like maybe 60 people in there, shoulder
Sounds
to
about
shoulder.
right. Shitty dog
Wow.
bar in Torrington.
But
That's
dude,
yeah.
it was so fun because it was like, you know, our third or fourth show. We haven't really played a lot of shows. We, you know, just dropped an album on, you know, all the streaming platforms and whatnot not too long before that. And like, we knew a lot of the people there, right? And everybody like knew the lyrics to the songs. Everybody was having fun. It was like there was so many people there. And I think just having that experience with friends and seeing them, you know, seeing the music that you made or the lyrics that coincide with the song, like seeing that resonate with them and them being familiar with the stuff that we composed together is it's a fucking awesome feeling, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Even Warped Tour, because it was Hartford, right?
Mm.
So like having your boys be in the pit, but it's not any, it doesn't take away from any of the other shows, but having like all the people you know plus a couple hundred more random strangers that are just floating through,
Yeah.
and but you're on like, this is a legit production. This
Yeah.
is fucking Warped Tour.
Yep.
No, it's such a awesome platform.
Yeah,
It's fucking
that's
awesome.
that's cool, dude. Yeah, dude, I can't wait to see your band
Oh,
live.
thanks, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
You guys look like you have a lot of fun.
Dude, we have a lot of fun. Like a lot of fun. In terms of having fun with people, this is the fucking band because I've been friends with these dudes since I was 15, right? Like I was 15, they were 18, and we were actually in a death metal band before I was in Forsaken together. And then, you know, we our vocalist, our Mambo is his name. We became friends since we started jamming, but Ryan and Jake, I don't know, I've been friends with them for forever since we were in our, you know, the first band I was, well, one of the first bands I was ever in, Asylum Avenue, back in the day. And yeah, we just kind of like, you know, I moved up and they had this little internet project, and I don't even listen to pop punk, so it was one of those things where it's like, you know, we'll just see how it goes, and it ended up being a lot of fun. And we kind of started making like joke music, sort of like some of the songs are funny and some of them are a bit more serious and trying to test the waters and see what we like. And yeah, I just, you know, took it from there. So in terms of like jamming with people, everything is so cohesive in this band because there's not like a leader of the pack, you know. It's like we're all on the same page and we all generally enjoy doing the same things, you know. So it all just flows really cohesive.
The perfect situation.
That's
Perfect.
awesome.
It's perfect.
It's rare that you find a group of guys you can do that with, and
Yep.
like I've only had that a couple of times, and I've been in a lot of bands. I've
It's
only
hard,
had that a
dude.
couple times where
Band
it's
whore.
just very like there's like a core, even if it wasn't everybody, like you had a core group of people that would just tear through music, and it's so awesome when it comes just like naturally like that and everybody's just all about it. That's
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't picture being in a band with other people. Like theoretically, I could do it, right? But in
Yeah,
terms of just having it be so cohesive and feel so natural, it's I couldn't be in a band with anyone else. It's just we all work together so well. And if one of us wasn't in the band or we had someone else come in, it just, you know, it wouldn't feel right.
that's awesome. I was gonna say I've checked out some of your stuff here and there. I hear a lot of different influences that like it's really awesome to hear because you don't hear it much. I hear influences of like some 41 sometimes, or like
Yep.
there's points where I hear Armor for Sleep,
Yep.
or like even there's points where I hear like the first brand new record comes to mind. It's
Yeah, dude.
really
Thank you.
it's invoking a lot of different really cool memories of bands from back in the day. I'm like, I need to fucking see this. So like really
Right.
seriously, I'm stoked for this project.
Thanks, man. It's super fun because our vocalist is really I don't know why I keep saying our vocalist Mambo, who does our vocals. He's really into the old pop punk, so you know, like some 41, Blink 182, that kind of stuff. So his influence really stems from that old school sound, which is kind of where some of our material comes from. Um, and then Jake and Ryan, they like more like melodic music. They listen to a little pop punk here and there, and I listened to a little bit of it too, but I think coming from a death metal background, it's kind of cool because I don't really have much drumming influence when it comes to this style of music because I don't particularly listen to it, even though I play it. So it's kind of cool to incorporate some, death metal elements. Like I do blast beats here and there, even though it's pop punk, or I'll do like some fast double bass here and there. I don't want to overdo it,
As you should.
Yeah.
I
But
always loved when drummers would like throw. There was a band back in the day called Day at the Fair that was on Drive Through Records, and like their drummer was absolutely a metal drummer. And like every time I go see them, I would be like, "Man,
yeah,
why are you in this band?"
it's funny because live people will be like, "Do you play metal?" It's like, yeah, that's really all I play and mostly what I listen to. But yeah, I mean, it's fun,
so cool.
Yeah,
It's
man.
so
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you. The newer stuff we're making is more, a little more serious, a little more melodic. Because when I guess that's just like what relates to me and Jake the most. And then Ryan and Mambo both kind of like the old school sound to it. So it's kind of incorporating a bunch of different sounds into one style and kind of trying to make our own thing out of this.
Well, you guys are doing a great job so far. Like
Thanks, man.
seriously.
Appreciated.
2 fans.
Hell yeah.
We're stoked for it.
Thanks, man.
So about Sober Bill, before we kind of get towards wrapping things up, tell everybody, how the band got together, maybe some pretty cool, maybe a cool experience or something like that at one of the shows, or when something clicked in a song that you guys have. And on top of it, please, the stage for this whole episode is yours. Let everybody know how they can listen to you, when your next shows are, and when stuff's coming out, man.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate it. So I was in California for about 2 years, right? And then Grustis and Mambo and this guy Pat, they started this internet project called Sober Bill. And I remember when I came up to visit a couple times, Grustis would always like show it to me, and I was like, yeah, this is like cool. It's just like fucking around, like old school pop punk. Like they weren't taking anything serious. They were just kind of doing online stuff. And then when I moved back up here, they wanted me to play drums. But at that point, Pat left the band and Jake was in the band. And given the past chemistry that me, Jake, and Grustis had, I figured I would go for it, even though it was a little out of my element. And I remember just jamming and learning the songs, and I was like, dude, this shit is a lot of fun, because it's like death metal tends to be a little more serious, and pop punk is a little more upbeat and fun to play, and it's more appealing to the masses too. So it's a lot easier to see a lot of people get into it. But yeah, so they were doing the internet project, and then I moved up, and we just started jamming, writing, making a bunch of music. We actually dropped the album. I'm pretty sure we dropped the album before we even played any shows. And then we started playing shows, and, it kind of took off from there. And, since we released the album a little over a year ago, almost a year and a half ago, we released a few singles here and there, a little more on the melodic side, trying to, just figure out our sound and whatnot. And yeah, that's kind of what we've been making from there on out. Yeah, as for where you can check us out, Instagram, Sober Bill Unofficial. We thought it would be cool to do unofficial instead of official because nobody does that.
That's clever.
So Sober Bill Unofficial. To YouTube, Sober Bill, we're like the only thing that comes up. So we got 3 music videos out. One of them, actually, funny story. We filmed a music video in IKEA. So, so there was this Instagram influencer, I guess, that there was some viral article that came out about her, and she was saying something along the lines of this. Don't quote me, but she was saying she was in another country on vacation, but really she was just hiding the tags and doing a photo shoot in IKEA. So we were like, oh, why don't we actually like shoot a music video in IKEA, but have it be very obvious that we're in IKEA shooting the music video. So we kind of just like dicked around in IKEA for a while, trying to like do it away from people. But it was funny because I remember there was this in one of the rooms, there was this what was like presumably a yoga mat in the middle of the room, and we were telling Mambo, we're like, do a somersault on it, and then this lady came over and she was like looking at the yoga mat right when he was about to do it, and we were like, fuck, like we don't want to like, you know, start a scene. We're not like super young guys anymore, so you see some dudes in their 30s doing somersaults in an IKEA room. It looks fucking weird, you know. But
nothing's changed.
Yeah, I know. But she
Nah,
was
dude.
like, she's like, oh, are you gonna like do a flip on that? And we were like, yeah. She's like, it's a somersault mat, like you're supposed to. And we're like, what? So we look at it. It's literally a somersault mat that you're meant to do somersaults on. So
wow.
they didn't even, yeah. So then he just fucking did it, or did a somersault on the mat, and then we just kind of walked around and dicked around in IKEA, and we got a little drunk before we went in IKEA too. So we were like drunk in IKEA at noon on a Sunday.
Was this at the one in New Haven?
Yeah, New Haven, yeah. And the irony is Sober Bill. Yeah, dude, it was so fun. But the irony is Sober Bill because we typically like drink before we play, so we're usually never sober when we're playing shows. So,
perfect.
It's in good fun. But another funny story. That's where we got the name Sober Bill, right? So this was before I was in the band or I was friends with Mambo. But his name is William. Somehow Bill is short for William. I don't know how. It's just how it is. He, I guess, was participating in Sober October or something. And I think he lasted like 2 or 3 days or something. And then he got drunk. So they were like, oh, we're going to call this band Sober Bill. And then, we just kind of, went from there.
That's great.
That's a good way to start.
It's always funny because people that never heard of us, right? They think it's just like some like ex-alcoholic on an acoustic guitar that's like playing sad songs alone, and then it's like the four of us that are there, and we're like, yeah, we're Sober Bill, you know.
Love it.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I really had a good time talking to you. It's been a minute. We should definitely catch up soon.
Yeah, dude,
and,
absolutely.
Hopefully see you and hopefully see Sober Bill on the West Coast at some point. That would be pretty rad. I would definitely be there. But yeah, dude, I'm stoked to talk to you. Glad everything's going good. And
we'll likewise, man.
Again.
You got to come out to Cali soon. I know I've said it a lot. I've been a little tight financially, but at some point I definitely got to come out. And whenever you guys want to come, let me know. If we have any plus ones at any of these shows, I'll definitely let you guys in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to come up to Connecticut at some point. I can still come up and visit every once in a while, so I'll try to plan it out.
Yeah, it'd be fun to catch up with you guys.
It'd be sweet to have you back out here. Jake and I went to a ton of like really bomb places to eat and some really good breweries. Some of them aren't even here anymore, man.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
There was that one on that rooftop. I remember that.
Yeah, gone.
Really fucking good. Is it?
Gone. Damn. Yeah. You don't even want to go in that part of the city anymore. It's just tense and shit. But yeah, fuck yeah, man. Stoked to talk to you. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time today.
Thank you for having me, man. Both of you guys. Appreciate it.
For sure, dude.
Absolutely. It was great talking to you, man. It's been forever.
So long, man. Likewise.
Remember to follow us on Instagram at Tales from the Soundcheck Podcast. Spotify allows you to listen to the show, follow us, and rate the show, which actually helps us to become an ever better podcast.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for full episodes and exclusive clips. If you have any comments or want to chat with us on the show, or you have your band featured, please email us at talesfromthesoundcheckpodcast@gmail.com.
Before you go, take a listen to Broken, one of Sober Bill's newest singles.
What is this life? Why do y'all try so fucking hard? What's the harm if we fall apart? Everything's always broken. to describe what's going on inside my head. Feelings of dread. My future is already dead.